Is quiet at Chile. Everyone welcome into the IEM at Dallas Close Qualifiers. I'm Komodo, this is Conky. Usually he's the one doing the intros, but when I'm pushing buttons, sometimes it's me. And it is me today. Mitch, how you doing?
I'm good, my friend, and look, it's a safer option with you pushing the buttons, all right? It's always a bit difficult when I get it done, but mate, look, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I am Dallas Qualifiers for the closed run. It's been an exciting little bit of an entertaining competition so far, I guess you could say, right? Super close games yesterday, and diving straight into this one right now, it should be an electric day to find out who's going to be going to Dallas.
Yeah, that's exactly correct indeed. LFO and Vertex in this lower bracket, you'll call it an elimination game. Best of 3 coming on forward as well. We can touch upon it. We're still trying to set things up a little bit, which is why we are straight in toward the game, but we'll play out this pistol and then we'll potentially touch upon things a little bit more. Mitch, right now, Licky, he's spotted the enemy.
Look, the game's always going to tell the story itself, right? You know, it's been an exciting one. This is a grudge match here between LFO and Vertex, and it's straight out into mid. APOC still going for the face, actually managing to take a lot of damage there, but still looking sharp and savage. Trying to find a couple more. PZ will tag him up a fair whack, and obviously with no Kevlar, looking a little bit dicey there, as APOC does also get taken, and APOC 7 HP, 3 kills. Phenomenal start to the round here for LFO.
Certainly holding it down there, and that's what you want to see from the big boys coming on in toward this one for LFO. But just quickly, as the pistol has been done, Mitch, we'll run through that veto that you can see at the top of your screen. It's Vertigo first that has been picked out by Vertex. Then we'll be going over into Ancient that LFO have opted for. And if we need that third and final decider, which will be very spicy, we move over to Overpass.
Yeah, Overpass, a very, very common one that we've seen between these two teams. Good pick into Vertigo. Really liking that one, that we are seeing it come out much more regularly on, sort of in this top 5, top 4 in the region. It's been looking very, very nice, but it will just be that gentle eco here for Vertex. So lots of close games yesterday. I guess we can use this eco round to talk about that a little bit, you know, in the sense that, a couple of 16-14s looking real hot in that regard. I
think we need to switch the cameras for 1 second. I don't think the audio is just coming through in this round.
Yeah, go on, bring it in.
Just quickly, we'll run through this rollover and then we'll switch on the sound. I just don't think it's been coming on through right now. Just a bit of a mop up on the round from the CTs. Okay, so I'll have to take full apologies for this. We'll just come to us for 1 second, everybody. Hi, hello, how you doing? It's us again.
Get that volume up, boy.
Yeah.
It's not me making the mistakes for once. Let's go.
Indeed. Okay, I believe we should be good now. There we are. Apologies for that one. It was just a button on the PC that was switched off.
Okay. So the action station now, the first real bar that we're going to be seeing going into this one. PZ has had to drop a little bit back, picking up the Galil here, but full belt of utility, so it shouldn't be too bad. A little bit of ARAM default here. APOC does seem to be keen to walk on through, but APOC will be sending that one back. A couple of warning fired shots out, but no progression really just yet. The nade is good, however, but APOC still keen to face.
Yeah, you gotta be careful of the stampede the Vertex are gonna be coming out with. However, Sterling's stuck at the sandbags, and as well, APOC really close. He's been spotted out, but he's gonna be able to find the first one. The trades as well. You would kind of like to see Vertex go a little bit slowly here, potentially. However, they don't have any flashbangs to work with at the moment, Mitch, and could bite them back in just a little bit, as they still do tend toward this A side at the moment. No real budging from Hazard yet. Over at that B side, he's going to start to slowly make his way over, but of course, a minute to go. Vertex have a lot of time to get onto this side.
Yeah, well, they expended so much in trying to get this control here. Rockleco will actually burn down Licky in the process, so that is some further forthcoming positioning. But look at the space already from LFO, already down towards side lane. Hazard straight through the elevator smoke, and that's put the side of Vertex on the back foot a little bit. Still here, 40 seconds left, but the rotation is absolutely complete. Now they are starting to cruise back away from the ramp, and Hazard sent his way back over towards B, so not too bad here. I guess they're just going to use this 30 seconds to see if anyone is coming from the flank, and then they'll sort of regress their way towards A.
Oh, there is a kit for Savage, so at least if the plant does go down for Vertex, there will be that opportunity for LFO, who are starting to peel away from this A side. It could be some massive timing for Vertex. 10 seconds to go, though, and Sterling's heard that util come down. He can deny this one. But how is he going to choose to do so? Single flash utilized quite nicely out into all the peak. Brace was playing anti-4 at the plant going down. He's trying to run. He doesn't know where he is inside the smoke, Mitch. As the bomb gets planted, it will be this 2 versus 2. Sterling perched up. Hazard waiting for him to meet with his teammate as well. Let's see what they get onto water. I don't think there's a smoke that they can utilize. Single flash. The kit's been picked up from Hazard there, but Brace, Malta, they're playing this quite nicely. The swing on. Now they know that Sterling's on the site as well. And Vertex don't necessarily need to go in for the challenge at the moment, and they're not going to need to. Sterling gives it to him, and he will lose it. So Vertex on the board.
Very nice fight there to get the job done. You know, it's always that thing where you're just getting so scared if they'll actually have time to get that bomb plant down. But look, with about a second or two remaining, they do manage it. So it's an excellent start here on the T side here for Vertex. Obviously, still Vertigo meta. You know, it's a little bit more challenging on that T side. So if they do make their way up to sort of that 6 or 7 mark, we should see them a little bit more solid on the CT. Peasy also a very proficient AWPer on that CT side. So very much looking forward to seeing how this game does pay out. Again, you know, as we sort of run around, this is a bit of a grudge match, I guess you could say. It's a competition that we've been seeing much more regularly, but after obviously LFO spent a fair bit of time over in Europe playing some tier 2 competitions, obviously their ESL Pro League, they're the team with the experience, right? You know, and Vertex obviously looking pretty hot, but with Malta coming in, they are starting to stabilize and they've been looking pretty good lately. So yeah, very equal looking buy, a little bit more utility on the side of Vertex, but LFO still enough to get the job done. Just no kits is the scary prospect here.
Yeah, and time you would expect to be bled quite nicely in this one. Sterling utilizing the gap in the scaffolding to see what he can spot, and I don't know if he did spot the little feet of APOC Dud there. It is always better with an AWP, of course, which we'll see these boys bring out later, Mitch. But for right now, Vertex are wanting to turn it up over in toward the B site. Hazza here with the trusty sidearm. Licky from behind as well, but he's been spotted out by Malta. Hazza, Licky, both losing their lives, and now it's the B site open for Vertex.
Excellent entries in there from Rufflecoat, the entry man himself. And on the side of LFO, it's probably just a little bit of a save here. They've still got the 3 rifles. It might be enough to sort of drag something forward into the next rounds. But regardless, you know, this is a very aggressive start from Vertex. 5 alive will be huge for their economy to push forward. But, you know, again, it always sort of goes back to that T-side Vertigo, right? You know, getting the runs on the board nice and early. And I think the main thing is, right, you know, LFO sort of had a real solid run to the top of contention in the region right now, you know, and with Renegades not being a part of this closed qualifier, it has been very interesting to see who will take that second round. You know, Order making their way all the way through to that grand final. We're going to be seeing the winner of this go up against them later on this evening, I believe about 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, like it's always kind of who is that top 3 right now, with Aftershock stepping up, knocking out Paradox. You know, we do move into the remaining 3 in LFO, Vertex, and Order, and it is, whilst Vertex may be lacking behind a little bit, it is still such a tight fight. So I cannot wait to see not only what this game delivers for us, but also what the grand final will later on. Just
on that as well, due to the fact that this is a rematch, we already saw these teams play in that opening round of this bracket. It went to over towards LFO. This map was played. It was 16-14 in the end. So if we're still getting series today, like those close scorelines that we've seen, heck, throughout the whole bracket, you know, you look at the other teams that have been putting out 16-14s as well. These 2 matches today, absolute bangers.
Needs to go tight, right? You know, Vertex putting in so much effort as of late to really sort of improve themselves. One of the teams that is, you know, very well disciplined, has a lot of fun in the process too. They've got that A-ramp default, taking a little bit more control. Sterling up close. Molotov will send him packing, but no audio cue, so they should have some. But look at this, Sterling.
This is a big problem. There is 0 pieces of utility for LFO on a map like this. You need at least some sort of coverage. Otherwise, they're just going to be fighting for these dry jewels and getting tickled a little bit here and there by the utility that Vertex is throwing out. So for Sterling to, I guess, be narrow focused on toward the side hole to try and find 1 frag there. APOC Dud just holding W, finding 2. Is this just going to look like a save call for LFO already? They don't have the, well, Hazza anymore to try and go into it. No kits, no util, 4 alive for Vertex. You have to just call this one and get out.
Yeah, take these 2 M4s into the next round. They're going to have the full buy, so it will, you know, give them a bit of an advantage there. Don't think there's going to be an AWP for Sterling. You know, maybe Savage might have the cash to do so, but look, awesome stuff there from Vertex. Excellent entries in from APOC Dud, and just Sterling's positioning, right? The amount of time he spent turning, just trying to, you know, do the do-si-do, avoiding the flames. But all the utility that was expended there by Vertex and the pincer attack, you know, they closed off elevator, and they basically just forced Sterling up against a wall. So that was an excellent position there from Vertex. Once more, 4 alive. So they are going to be looking very hot to trot to the next couple of rounds. What is that cash going to be looking like here for the buy? Super solid, good position. But again, first sort of serious buy that'll be coming out from LFO with all the utility and the kits that they need.
Yeah, I really want to see what LFO are going to have for us when they are pressured out by Vertex time and time again, right? We're seeing great recoveries from them in the early stages of Vertigo specifically, and I don't know, I'm not going to call it just yet that it's going to look to be a comeback, but they need to strengthen themselves on this CT side at the moment, because of course it's going to be that reset ability. You're giving Vertex confidence already after seeing, you know, that 16-14 that I'll make mention of again. Vertex know LFO's tendencies on this map, and they know how to put that punishment down. And now that PZ has that AWP as well, it can definitely look a little bit more scarier. So for LFO, this is where potentially a bunch of these information rounds are going to start to come out, and they'll start to get the feeling of what Vertex are going to look to go in with. And Mitch, I really like that Vertex are just holding on to a lot of this utility at the moment as well. Just as a little side note.
Yeah, LFO have already expended a fair whack. You know, APOC dropping down to absolutely nothing so far. 2 smokes, 3 make that, 1 molly, not really enough to kind of keep them at bay. And as that utility goes out towards the sandbags, nobody home, of course. LFO have very much been forced back. There will be a boost up onto the double stack here. Should allow them some additional time, but Vertex don't seem overly keen here. They've, you know, happy with what utility they've actually burnt down towards the ramp. Sterling has nothing left either. And with 50 seconds available to them, they're going to reposition in towards mid.
Yeah, 40 seconds. Hazza starting to budge an inch ever so closer to the B stairs. And Savage, here's a little bit of this util that Malta's throwing on out. Will they have the idea that this is not exactly where things are looking to enter in toward the B side at the moment? Because it's going to be from in mid right now. Hazza finds one, and Savage realizes what's happening, so he's going to position accordingly. And 20 seconds. Objective is just denial of that bomb plant.
Yeah, where are they going to go? It looks like they're actually trying to dive this split in towards the A site right now. APOC dud brace. They do get the job done, but they have to make a decision right now. Where are they going to be going? APOC does do big things here. Do they have the time? I think they just do.
Oh, they
Brace
do.
will be able to find that plant, but now he's trying to find a fight, but he misses the shot. Now Brace, all alone on an island here, has to try and fall away to fight this 1v2, but they move in as a unit. What an excellent round there from LFO, keeping their composure. And APOC, just like a stone man in the position in the elevators, locking it down, denying as the concierge there.
Yeah,
nobody will be going to the second floor.
No, not to the second floor in that one, unfortunately. But they can try and do so again with the money that they've got for a repurchase. A lot of time utilized from Vertex trying to get that opening pick in that round, and they didn't really get presented by it from LFO, realizing that it was util being held. LFO know that it's going to be potential setup over towards either A or B, and they're ready for it. As soon as they see a little bit of util come in from Malta, they deny it. Savage realizes that they're all coming in through mid. 20 seconds. If we stop them from just getting in toward the bomb site, we win the round easy as you like it. And I mean, it didn't go their way, Mitch. The bomb went down, but the retake was nicely done. So now, in toward the new round again, it's going to be the same sort of formalities from Vertex over towards this 8 round. APOC Dud looking over the smoke. He's going to find APOC, which again is going to be an interesting thing for this one. APOC Dud and APOC. But regardless, first opening pick, Vertex in this round.
Oh man, this is such an important round as well. An important man in APOC has been going down as well. You know, phenomenal round in that hold in the previous. So minute 15, already whittling away at the defenses of LFO. Some utility, 1 kit in the hands of Savage. It's very much looking like Vertex are at the advantage quite heavily, but Hazza has been doing a fantastic job so far holding down that B site. There is a little bit of a rotation away though, so they might have got this information. What's the read that's actually come through here? It's Brace is doing a whole lot here. The flash is in, and my God, Dion, look how much control he's been able to establish himself. This man right now walking on up. Will he spot anything? He's still just
they're moving.
Keen to have a look. Yeah, they are rotating back now. I think Brace, whilst he has sold somewhat of a fake, Licky is still there waiting.
He saw it.
Is he going to check it?
Oh, he just got 2 here, surely. No. Oh, he didn't see the backpack, Mitch. He didn't see the backpack. That's the problem. And now Hazza has so much to do over on this B side at the moment. Can't quite navigate the frag on towards Malta, and APOC Dud will win the duel. So that's going to be the bomb plant. And how do you get back in toward this B site? 2-player deficit with an AWP. Yes, Sterling has a little bit of utility. They've got a kit, but it's just too hard to get in towards this one. Another well-fought round out from Vertex, and they're going to survive with 4.
My word. Again, Brace, you know, the big brain in-game leader, doing so much to keep his team sort of on a little bit of a leash there, holding them on B-ramp, saying, guys, I've got to play. Guys, I've got the timing. And he does manage to walk away with 1. Yeah, again, as you mentioned, though, somehow didn't spot it through in towards the side hall position, meaning Licky does get away with 1 more. Malta's going to be going down to Licky himself. But in the, you know, position where 3 alive, still the money stacking up for Vertex, slowly, and obviously PZ with the big green. still managing to keep that one going too. So once again, it's LFO saving a couple of weapons away. And what's the money looking like? Oh, you know, it's kind of an awkward one, right? It's like, do you buy a couple of pistols? Do you go for the full force?
Well,
like,
these are sort of rounds that if you put so much reliance and trust, maybe is the better word here, in Sterling, and coupled by the fact that Licky does have a rifle as well, they can get the job done. If there's a nice bit of positioning and they get the opening pick, let's say over towards A ramp, where Vertex have been tending towards time and time again in this one so far, then potentially that's an advantage. It's some pressure established, and it sends Vertex into a situation that they aren't maybe more comfortable in going in. So it's really, for me, going to be this opening pick of what either Licky or Sterling is going to be able to come out with. And I mean, for right now, it is very passive from LFO. A bit of a how do you do with that util that's been thrown out. But apart from that, Vertex are also just being quite patient. They don't need to press the issue. They just need to be wary of the time, because it has gotten the better of them once before.
Super disciplined, hey. It's just looking very, very good. And definitely taking some inspiration from the EU region. You know, nice and slow, not overly aggressive, trying to be a bit more methodical. Once again, to have a cheeky lurk, this time from APOC Dud. Working his way up over towards that A position, but once again, you know, the more passive route, Hazza, only with his cheeky little USP unsilenced, falls away. And just the due diligence done once more, you know, site being taken, utility thrown down nicely. Licky does manage to fell APOC Dud. And looks like Hazza's going to be spotted out as well. So Brace will have enough time to get the bomb plant down, and all 4 members of LFO look like they're just going to be absolutely booking it out of there straight away as well. So they still just got the 2 rifles, have invested that 1 extra picking it up, but is it going to be found by Savage?
Yeah, I wonder. I didn't catch if Vertex threw it off the map, to be honest with you. So if they did, big brain, of course, they potentially could have, as Savage is just looking for it.
No, where's it gone?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. Okay.
So now it definitely is. I thought Vertex would, you know, had a loose member, throw it off the map, easy done, but no. Okay, so Mitch, 5th round for Vertex. We're going to get another purchase in for LFO. Nice little exit frag from Brace, as well as it was just that cheeky deagle for Hazza. Well, rather Savage. Try and get another gun for the boys, but a purchase here for LFO. What difference are we going to see in this round now that, you know, it's not too far forward of a lead from Vertex at the moment? Their economy's really starting to build up. LFO need to string together a couple rounds in a row to try and reset that. So we're going to see, you know, some aggression from LFO, do you reckon? Are we going to just see sort of the first patient pace again? Similar setups that we've seen from them so far? Because for LFO, kind of has been a couple of similar setups this game so far.
Yeah, definitely just like a level of mutual respect being thrown out right now, which is an interesting one, right? You know, this has always been one of those more disrespectful matchups, which I love. And this time, it's exactly as you were sort of talking about, right? APOC is straight out of the side lane. On the other side of the molly, might catch APOC.
Done it again.
No. This is the superior POC in this round, as now he's been looking super sharp. You know, such a transition a little while ago away from the AWP onto the entry. He's just been looking fantastic. Now Sterling having to go fishing on his own, and he's thrown out a very, very deep line here. Molotov will send him packing. A little bit of utility from Licky. Another smoke can be sent back, but Theon still just, again, slow, methodical from Vertex. They don't want to over-aggress here. More utility to be sent down. There is still 2 here. But again, they are just using this time to burn so much utility away. And Vertex aren't even keen to run their way up. And
spamming through the wall as well to punish any potential boosts that LFO are going to come out with. So it really puts the pressure on LFO to try and dig back in toward this round. And Vertex, they're just going to start to maneuver on over toward the B site. You do have Hazza relatively close. Savage at back with a flashbang. Oh, this could be big for Hazza. Maybe 2 frags. But was that an anti? Was that anti from Brace? No, he had his hand covering his face. So, yeah, not a full effective flash, it feels like. No pick on the back of it. And APOC does still got this lurk. 30 seconds. Bomb technically can come back towards A. And that's exactly what's going to be happening. Sterling here by himself. Roffelko to hold the fake over at B.
Yeah, just keeping 2 members here is already massive. You know, Sterling hasn't yet activated yet. 0 and 3. Does hold a different line. Should find a shot onto Brace. On the board now for Sterling. Holding it back, though, will be Peasy. Spray through the top. That's going to be one for Licky, but he is quickly traded now with 9 seconds. Has to try and find the plan. Hazza throwing a couple of warning shots. Gets up high, but it is still that 3 versus 2. A winnable prospect here. Savage rotating back around, but it looks like Roffelko's actually ready for it. Finds the line. Finds the frag. And it's all left on to Hazza, and Malta's going to rip his head off. This is Vertex looking absolutely dominant right now. Once again, this weird mishmash mishmash of saves and buys and awkward sort of, you know, throwing something together means that whilst 3 of these members from LFO have got a buy in their hands, there's 2 that don't. And is it worth it making this decision right now? Looks like they are just going to hold on and call for a timeout instead.
Yeah, I thought, to be honest with you, that it was going to be LFO calling a pause, but no, it's Vertex actually getting out with this tactical timeout now at the moment, and I don't blame them, right? We know that Vertex are a very elevated team in the communications, so to be able to get in towards, you know, a 6-3 lead, where last time, remember, this was a 16-14 venture over towards LFO, well, getting out that good lead early on is really going to prop them up to be able to potentially win their own map pick here. And I mean, you look at the cash that they've got behind them. It's a couple of purchases still to keep going after the fact, even if LFO start to get a couple of these rounds, of which have gone in for a half buy in this round, Mitch. So definitely need to be some recoms for LFO moving forward from here.
Well, this could be 7 rounds, right? You know, we 100%. Spoke about it very much in the short pre-game that we had. 6-7 rounds on that T side is already massive, and if Vertex find 7 in just 10 of the rounds we've already got on their T side, could be absolutely massive from them. You know, such a good ego boost. If they make it into this grand final, you know, Order I sort of feel is a little bit more beatable for Vertex than LFO is. You know, they've come close, but I feel like they've had a few more runs on the board against Order, especially a little bit of a weaker Order. But I got to admit, you know, Valiant and Vexite have been looking fantastic.
Oh, so sharp.
Valiant slotting into his new role on the AWP. So, irrespective, you know, I think Order is going to be a terrifying opponent into this grand final. There will be a break, of course, to give them some time to rest up and recover. But regardless, once again, it is going to be that B site entry here. Getting their utility down, Brace for the opening, onto Savage, clearing where they need, spots another, Hazard goes down as well, and this should just be another free round for LFO.
Yep, no break for Brace in this round. He's been able to pick up 2, Malta with 1 through the smoke, and now it is just those 2 purchase rifles in toward this round for LFO. If they can hold on toward them into the next one, they'll be fine. I wouldn't mind Sterling potentially going for something here, knowing that, you know, he's within the realm of an AWP purchase as well. Shot from Brace, however, to clean his clock. Actually on the round for him, and now for Licky, it is just going to be that save simulator. I gotta say, the respect that Vertex are giving LFO in these rounds and that time merit as well is really nice, right? They are capitalizing on all their util to find information on where LFO are. And so far already, Mitch, the push and pulling we've been seeing from Vertex, LFO, it makes it more difficult for them to get a good read on where the round is actually going to end up, because in this one, you know, it was what, 1 player over towards the A side this time, and then it was just everybody else in towards B. It's the first kind of time that we've seen them go with a little bit of gusto towards a single site instead of going for one in the beginning, then toward another, making a decision potentially to go back. So if Vertex keep up this kind of trickery, it's going to become quite difficult for LFO.
All I can say is there's been 5 rounds so far where there's been a save on this side of LFO. 5 rounds where they've just sort of had their backs up against the wall a little bit, looking to, you know, forego that fight. And that just shows how good Vertex have been on these entries, you know, finding the picks as they've needed. And Hazard, it's going to get up close and personal. Looks like they are going to slow it down a little bit. That could be a good HE. It will be. Rough quite dunked, but do start to walk their way up B. A little bit of utility to be peppered over as well. Oh, that's a huge nade on Hazard! Narrowly missing it. Hazard managing to sort of leap and bound his way away like the Matrix in slow motion, dodging those. And just this utility from Vertex, you know, you can show that they've been putting in the hard yakka.
Yeah.
Getting this,
oh, wow.
Right, there you go. There's the entry. Hazard gets taken. Savage has to do all the defense on his lonesome.
And he's been seen as well by Malta, that incendiary location known. So for Vertex, if they can try and find Savage here, it could be big. But again, they're just simmering down, letting the round play out. A minute to go on the clock. Rotations have come over for LFO. Another opening frag the way of Vertex in this one. And now, again, I'm feeling like a bit of a broken record. It's LFO having to crawl back in toward a round from a deficit. And Malta, no one's actually looking over towards this position. So they don't know that he's still here. A free frag onto Savage. An idea on a Sterling. Playing it to perfection. And again, Mitch, you were talking about 5 rounds of saving. Well, this is looking like number 6.
Oh my word, it already is, isn't it? You know, APOC is already quite a distance away. Licky going to be hunted as well. Malta has found that position. He can call for the site rotation now. Brace is already hunting as well. Does get spotted by Licky, but it's still a little bit shaky. So both members half HP, extremely low, and they will be likely walking away with their rifles again. Is it going to be on Vertex to potentially go for that fight, go for the hunt? You know, they've got so much money in the bank account because they have been keeping 3 alive, 4 alive, time and time again. And this is looking like a very lackluster LFO defense right now. But I don't even want to say that. I just feel like it's Vertex, you know, going strength to strength here on this T side.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. You know, for Vertex only having, what, a night of information gathering possibility after their match yesterday against LFO, right? They have to quickly figure out potentially what went wrong, a little bit of the set strategies that LFO are coming out to potentially get a quick counter or two. But for Vertex coming out of the gates with flying colors in toward this one so far, even if there wasn't any of the quick demo review last night, and it is just, you know, them realizing here and now what they need to do to get over the line. They've got all of those 30 rounds of the previous game to go up with as well. You know, it's always going to be in your mind going back up against a team the next day. So putting those set strategies, putting that information back in toward this game right now, 8 rounds on the T side, already hitting over that halfway mark, and they've still got 3 rounds to play within this half.
Absolutely.
Or 4.
And it's just been the same, you know, like broken record, as you mentioned, right? Opening pick for Vertex, slow down, keep the rotation there, 2 members on each site, and then they can just capitalize. And, you know, that previous round from Malta was just absolutely beautiful, waiting so long to the point where LFO question themselves, try to find the fight, knowing even where Malta was at the end of the day. So once again, they're going to go for that slow walk, the contact up A.
Just no respect on this smoke as well, Mitch. Just time and time again, getting in front of it, rather, knowing other foe aren't putting up any pressure toward it. Sterling has to smoke himself out, so now he's known a double nade stack. He is gone from the round. Another, and I can't overstate this enough, another opening frag over to the ward the way of Vertex. And if APOC loses his duel against APOC Dub, which he has been doing time and time again in this series, oh wow, Vertex, another round looking to go their way here.
This is absolutely brilliant Counter-Strike being thrown out by Vertex right now. Cannot state it enough. That's utility is just peak. It is key.
That's the difference as well, Mitch, of the A1S and the AK.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I just think it's crazy. You know, LFO are a team that very much does, you know, pronounce their ability with the utility, and it's Vertex that are just throwing it straight up in their faces right now. They've been cleared so many different times, but look, you know, Vertex, they are very strong in Vertigo. They're comfortable in their position. They've probably, as you mentioned, you know, gone back yesterday, had a little look again, and another save round. This is going to now be, jeez, the 7th.
Yeah, this is, I mean, to the respect of Vertex, this is absolutely brilliant plays coming out from them. For LFO, trying to get back into it time and time again. You know, the diff between the APOCs in this server at the moment. APOC Dud, time and time again, taking out APOC in that little semi-duel. Vertex winning first duel time and time again in this one. Not allowing any recoveries from LFO on the CT side at the moment. You know you have to justify going for the saves in that one, but the justification on the back of that, right? LFO saving, they're not converting those next rounds on the back of those saves. And that's, correct, quote, the big problem here.
Yeah, just being backs up against the wall the entire time. And look, I won't get too far ahead of myself in the sense that LFO is a very, very vigilant team. They're a team that does, you know, want another international run on the board, right? They've spent a fair bit over there this time. They're sort of preceding the OS region a little bit, getting that experience as they need. But yeah, Vertex is doing bits here, local practice, local competition. They're looking for their first international run on the board as a unit, and there is APOC done, finding 1.5. Taking Sterling very, very low here, 12 points of HP, doesn't have the big green. Now Peasy's just firing a couple of warning shots. Malta looking for more, which he's already found again and again and again. The B site will be taken. Licky has to try to find the fight, but he's going to be flailed by Brace. It was a very, very blind Malta, but this is a much more aggressive round. LFO, they try to take the fight. They try to find something, but Vertex give them the left, right, good night. And the site is secured once more. That's another save for LFO.
Mate, sucker punch.
I know that Vertex Socials is probably watching, right? This is definitely a memeable save kind of post if they do pick it up. But again, right?
Groundhog Day.
No matter how one-sided this half goes, 10 rounds now for Vertex. I will still not count LFO out.
Yeah.
However, it is getting to the point now where Pistol is looking super scary.
Oh yeah, 100%. If Pistol, if the remaining trajectory of this half goes the way of Vertex and they're getting a 12-3 and they get Pistol, it's going to be so difficult for LFO to get back into it. But Mitch, in the beginning of this round, again, it's APOC Dud to find the first opener on toward APOC. Malta finds the right timing into that B site, and LFO, they are just crumbling at the seams. They don't even carry anything into the next round. Oh, okay. what does Vertex had for breakfast? We need some of this, because this level of Counter-Strike right now, they have stepped it up compared to like even just the game we saw them last play.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's going to be a technical pause being called on the side of LFO. So surely we'll have that one sorted out very, very soon. But look at the money for Vertex, right? You know, obviously we're running out of the half anyway, but 13 rounds in, we're into the 14th here, 12k on absolutely everyone, almost out at max. And this has just been an absolutely ridiculous start from Vertex. I haven't seen them look this strong against a team of this caliber in quite some time. So it's been pretty incredible to see, witnessing how they've been going. But I'm proud to see this, right? Because not even from the fact that it's Vertex as a team, as an org, it's more of the fact that LFO is such a scary, scary team to face up against in this region right now, right? You know, they've got everything behind them. This is their first local event since their international run. They had a few good runs on the board, you know, a couple of maps over at ESL Pro League, which was fantastic with Ben the Legend standing behind them. And, you know, ever since sort of coming back, like before that even, you know, leading into the end, the tail end of 2021, they were a team that was just constantly improving and, you know, kind of getting their way up and arguably putting themselves above order and, you know, still taking a couple of scalps away from Renegades too.
Hey, how's this one with your fear of heights, Mitch?
Oh,
overlooking Vertigo.
Being scared of heights in a video game in 2022, that's crazy.
No, but what I will say is all four of the teams, you know, LFO, Vertex, Order, Aftershock, from what we've seen in the performances from all of them in the last little bit of history, any one of them I feel like are going to be strong contenders going into the IEM Dallas. And the way Vertex are looking right now, you know, if they can pick what they've done right now, apply that for the rest of this series and apply that over towards the next series against Order in that grand final, not only will they get that IEM Dallas slot, they will get their first international slot, and they will do it in a fashion that they have looked so cohesive today that everyone will be giving them good eyes overseas. First international showing, by the way. That's the big thing for them.
It's what they've been looking for, right? You know, quite some time. Do you remember? It's just a completely different roster. You know, I don't think PZ, Ruffleco, Brace have had an overseas run yet. You know, Malta a long time spent with Renegades. Apoc Dud, couple of international spots on the board, but yeah, it has just been crazy. So what are we dealing with here?
So it looks like we've just had
changes.
Yeah, tech pause on the side of LFO. Just need to get everything back in order and then we can get back in toward the matchup. Okay, well, it does look like we've got purchases coming on through for everyone, so we can get back into it. 10-5 is what LFO are going to be chasing here. It's been quite a while since we've seen a full purchase round go their way. Not even really. I mean, you look at what? Pistol. Second. Nothing. It's almost felt like.
Need to see something back. Perfect time here for LFO to get the fight, right? But hearing a few ticks in that chat, surely some banter back and forth. So maybe, you know, Vertex looking to get in the heads of LFO here a little bit.
I love the fact for Vertex right now as well. They've got so much money coming into the second last round. They've all got Tech 9s as their sidearms as well. Just in case they run out, they can hold the run and gun. Absolutely love
Boosting it all up. That's what you need. Just so confident with their position, can burn absolutely everything away. So a slow start again. LFO obviously throwing themselves a little bit further out in the previous rounds.
Oh, it's another smoke.
That fight, but
yep.
Apoc Dud's ready for it. Banner from Licky. Here we go. That's what you need to see. Licky fired up through the side, down the side lane. And it's only left down onto Malta and PZ. And Malta doesn't actually look like he has much Kevlar there available either. He will get the Molotov down towards the side hold to at least reposition himself accordingly, but still got to get that bomb. It is down on the ramp. Flash over the top. But backs up against the wall in this 2v4. So LFO finally with that early control.
Oh, Licky. Is he going to dodge the nade? He's not. That's a nice Kobe to come in from PZ. So within one in the round. Again, this one's starting off with Apoc Dud finding Apoc. Good hold from Licky. And now this is the first time Vertex have felt a bit of pressure to regroup themselves in toward a round. They yeah, got opening frags, but immediate trades from LFO. Has been a sight unseen so far. Getting a plant here from PZ is actually going to be massive to try and hold down the fort of this site, but across too many bodies to spot out, and now it's all onto Malta in the 1 versus 3. Has some information on where they're coming from. Does he have any idea that there's, you know, no flank coming down at the moment? Because he's not turning away from it. He's putting full focus on toward the side at the moment. A smoke on towards the bomb. The flash is high, which he dodges. There's one. No bullets. Maybe look plausible with how low Savage and Sterling were. Think about it. 5 more bullets.
If he had 2
five,
more, 3 more.
Something like that. Something like that.
Jesus. And that's what I mean, right? You know, finally LFO get a serious opportunity to strike back down, build their confidence up, get a decent buy into the last round of the half, but it just doesn't happen. 2 alive, both very low. And obviously, as we know, Vertex have so much money to get straight back into it, which is just absolutely disgusting for them to be in this position. But regardless, it looks like it's either going to be that 10-4 or 11-5, 11-6 rather, 11-4. What is my brain be on? I'm still waking up, it seems. Regardless,
11-4, 10-5.
10-5. That's what I'm going for, right?
It's okay. It's
not my strong suit. I play Counter-Strike, yes.
It's the morning woes. We'll throw it up toward that. This is a bit of difference from LFO this time. The smoke is down and Vertex aren't crawling through it, but they've got APOC who has been pushed up very, very far. Time and time again, we have seen APOC Dud get toward this location early on in the round and really fight for this ramp control. So this is a nice little difference that LFO are at least going to be happy with for the time being. But how much time do they put just trying to hold down here? Because you know that Vertex are still going to be absolutely okay with waiting out for that smoke to come down, starting to encroach in towards the site, and then going to be taking it over. So for the side of the CTs right now, LFO, yeah, they had that control of A ramp. Now they've conceded it, and there's still a minute for Vertex to spread their wings and play.
Forcing him off again. APOC wants to try and find that fight. Does get hit by the flash, but there's that double molly as well, and he has to run out. Once again, you know, being forced away from such a powerful position down towards the side lane. Just by himself. Very, very forward. Could flash in.
Oh!
Will keep the spray. So completely blinded. Still does actually manage to find that too. Again, that opening advantage going here. They're on 30 seconds left though. They've got to find the site.
Yeah, another flash in for Licky to go for the fight, and the pre-fire is going to be there with Sterling finding PZ as well. This 20-second timer is looking very dastardly for Vertex to try and get back into war this round. Sterling is having one of the rounds that we needed to see from him earlier on, and he's going to close it with 4. That is the half, ending at 10-5. And of course, as usual, folks, don't go anywhere because we will be back soon with the second half. Moment, a little bit of utility there for Licky and for Brace on the other side. Malta spawning out some information that he can quite early, but of course LFO are just going to be waiting out around the old forklift, which I do sometimes miss, but for valid reasons we know why it has been removed. Malta's got the information now. He's going to look for a little bit of this challenge early. A flash on through, but no heads just yet.
He wants the fight super bad. They are going to choose to run it away. Savage still on the low walk here as they are creeping their way up. Malta's going to be very, very careful. Brace has that full swing utility, but he has to have his back watched. Nade, it's good. They do have another smoke to work with as well. So this is that utility that is powerful coming through. He's actually got another HE. PZ up very, very close. Does find one onto APOC. Now the smoke going down too to actually isolate down towards the side lane. PZ finds another as well. Second in the round for him so far. Looking absolutely fantastic here, Vertex. Unwavered, unmoved, really. Still leaving that one man waiting. Ruffleco towards the B side. Malta spots one on the top of the ramp. It's going to be Hazard, and PZ does find another. On for the ace here potentially so far. Has found 3. Has to fall away though. 45 seconds still, and it's a 3-on-2. Winnable prospect for LFO as Sterling gets it into the 2-on-2.
This is so chaotic at the moment, but the timing for PZ, he gets the headshot in the end somehow with the fadeaway. And Licky being dinged on down to 12 HP as well. This does not bode well for LFO. Ruffleco's going to close it. Pistol to Vertex. Oh, dearie. What a chaotic pistol round, though, in the end, hey.
Yeah, well, PZ was actually not having the best game so far. I just picked up on. He was only down at 5 and 6. I mean, that's not bad, you know, given the fact that they did have such a strong start. Minimal deaths is always good, but the USP 4K gets him back on the horse and obviously making his way up towards the big green, which is going to be a pivotal part. Sort of reminds me a little bit of that Alistair playstyle, you know, very aggressive, very confident with the AWP down towards that ramp. But as LFO move into the full eco here, 5 Glocks, it is going to be a very, very quick round to wrap up here. But so far, yeah, so good for Vertex. And obviously with Ancient around the corner as well, isn't it, Dion? That's going to be a awesome map pull straight away from the middle.
Yeah, Vertex on Ancient is something that, you know, we haven't really had the opportunity to see before. So I'm going to be really keen to see how they're going to play with it. But of course, it is just those blocks in this round for Brace to run around with the MP9 and farm a little bit of the extra money. You're always going to be welcoming that one in, of course. And for LFO, yeah, use this as an extension for a free timeout, of course. With the Glocks, how are you going to tackle in your first rifle round in toward this game? Because if things go right for Vertex here, you know, and they win this round, you know, holding on to everything, we could potentially see an aggressive setup from them with the MP9s backed up by those A1Ss, you know, over towards control of a ramp is one of those tendencies on this map that seemingly every team kind of goes for in those anti-eco or the anti-eco first buy rounds. So we will wait and see on the back of what this round will come to a close with, which is going to be 5 live for Vertex. Now, Mitch, LFO's first purchase here. It's got to come through.
Yep, they need it desperately. Losing this one will basically just pop Vertex up to about a 14 rounds position. And look at the money that they've still got as well. You know, all members almost above that 3K mark. Roffelco dwindling slightly, but, you know, he's been playing, well, he will be playing that B-side anchor. Well done, Vertex. Just, again, looking so confident coming into this one. And you have to be, right? Facing off against such a giant like LFO is always scary to sort of be dealing with. A little bit of a tickle from that nade, and they are now moving forward, as you sort of were mentioning,
yeah, well,
right? It does appear that LFO are ready for it to a degree.
We'll just look at that. It's a multi-pronged forward approach in 2 positions of the map. A peek in through mid from Brace and PZ, but then at the same point down over toward the B site, you've got 2 players here. So a spot happening over at A by Malta by himself. So this is a really different take from Vertex on this sort of round to really maximize their utility usage later on in towards this one. And also, if they do get a little bit of pressure towards, you know, the mid and the B side of the map, which LFO might think is a little bit weaker, they can potentially have the numbers there. So for Malta, it is in the sense of a retake, maybe a one and done, as he does have the lesser weaponry, but the time being bought now from the utility for Vertex, if LFO are pressured with a couple of seconds to go in this round, it's going to get scary.
So still some more utility to try to keep them at bay here. So knows that smoke is going to fade. Licky's gun barrel not going to quite be spotted, but it still does give them the additional time. Now PZ looking to reposition as well. So 30 seconds left. Do have a Molotov available if they do want to send it down, and Bracer still has a lot of utility to throw too. And here it is. There's that flash up. There's that utility in, and that is going to be APOC ripping away that utility, but APOC done. He is here with a couple more, and now it's going to be jumping. That doesn't quite happen. APOC done tries to force the narrative as well, but it just doesn't go through. What a scrappy and chaotic hold there, but LFO get the job done. Another smoke to go through. Roffelco spraying away. Now he tries to creep on up. He's got so many angles that he needs to watch here. Does have the smoke grenade. He can send on towards the top of the side. Spots out the head of Hazard. Savage trying to play the high line as well. Does go for the reload, but he does switch back. Looks like Roffelco actually wants to try and send that one into the next round. Don't blame him, you know.
Yeah.
1900 in the bank account.
Well,
so he's going to have that buy, and the rest of the team should too.
Exactly. They'll have a purchase coming through. So saving the M4A1S with, you know, you got a kit behind it as well. It's not a bad idea. LFO do get their first round on the board on this T side. However, they have to reinvest with 2 weaponry as well. That's going to be at the cost of a little bit of this utility. So for Vertex, as far as they're concerned, they're okay with this outcome here. They probably had the expectation as well of maybe not being able to win that with the MP9s and stuff, but as far as damage is concerned, you're fine with it. So coming into this next one, you've got that AWP out as well. Transition to the hands of PZ. Likewise, Sterling actually has his AWP out. We didn't see an opportunity for LFO on their CT side to really bring out the boomstick. So, you know, well, besides that last round in the half where Sterling went with it, that's what we want to see. We want to see Sterling go nuclear with this AWP. And now he has it.
Yeah, has to be. Has to be this time. Didn't really get a chance to activate it until the end of that CT half, where we did see something disgusting from him. Ooh. On the 4K. APOC tagged up. APOC, rather. Apoc Dud has already found his forthright position, though, down the B ramp. So he is in a very, very good spot. Looks keen to try and find the fight, too. Nothing will be there. He does start to clear around the other side of that smoke. But Apoc Dud, yeah, wow. Fantastic position from him here.
Yeah.
Already has so much additional control. And again, the utility is just disgusting from Vertex. Able to keep them very much at bay. Obviously, I didn't actually mention that Peasy's on the big green here, too. Always good to see. Brace does find Hazard. And once again, you know, Vertex find the opening pick.
Yep, Brace was in a great position to not get flashed out by the flash that comes over to try and get Hazard an entry in towards this round. Apoc Dud spots out that there is someone still lurking around the B side at the moment. So that's some information to really start to piece together the remaining pieces of this round for Vertex. Heads up over towards the A site as LFO do start to creep on through. Brace is already relocated to the side itself with a little bit of a stack toward the side hole. Vertex have everything they need now over at this A site to contest, given the fact they don't have much utility. So a retake here would be a little bit awkward for Vertex. They're going to try and close this round before a plant goes down.
And it is the time to do it. Utility does start to get set. Molotov, unfortunately, will force some members away, but the blind spray!
Everyone's blind!
It's like the ultimate face-off!
Team blind!
Can't see anything at all, and now we see Sterling trying to fight it back. Getting good positioning, though, will be Peasy! And he will put 3 on the board for his side of Vertex and pull alive for the Wolves themselves.
Which one?
My God. Yeah, look, that's the old Wolves, all right? These are the new Wolves.
Yeah, well, that's certainly how it's coming out right now. At once, we may have thought that they were all bark, no bite. They are crunching in towards this game right now. They'd skipped the biting phase. They are absolutely coming out with a vengeance. And to shut down that gun rounds, to have a really strong buy coming out in the next one as well. This is really setting up to be, you know, potentially a big scoreline difference at the closer of this one. Again, LFO are going to have another purchase before Vertex hit at least 15. So see what the next gun round potentially has, unless LFO come out with a bit of an upset round here with these pistols already. Apoc has lost his life. It's, again, you know, pretty clean startings to these rounds for Vertex at the moment. Selling a Savage to see what they can do, Mitch, but it's looking like 14 for Vertex. And, I mean, for LFO to try and come back from a monstrous difference of the scoreline, I don't know if there are any Renegades. I don't know if they're going to be able to do something like that.
My God. Just such an uncomfortable position to be in, you know, knowing that you're going to have to save and allow Vertex to get up to 14. It's just not a position you want to be in at all. Sterling has recovered an M4, so he's got to be happy with that one, but with the bomb being so far away, there's just not really a whole lot they can do. Savage just waiting as long as possible to see if anything will sort of come through, but, you know, they're already playing anti. They're already stacked up into great positions, so it's just going to be probably a little bit too hard here for the LFO side, and even saving is just not a great prospect either. You know, the M4 is great, sure, but now they too try and go for this fight. M4 into the hands of the Kevlar member of Savage, and Apoc Dud lines up 1, but now Savage very, very low. Ruffleco can clean house. And there we go. Vertex do find that 14 that we spoke about, and now it is absolutely do or die here for LFO. Have to try and find it before they move in, you know, even if it's just a little bit of something to take some form of momentum into Ancient.
Yeah, no AWP going to come out here unless Savage goes for a glass cannon, but we know that that's not really a wise idea when they want to get out that utility. Hazard's going to be down onto a Galil here as well. So, as you mentioned, do or die in a round such as this, and with no AWP, maybe there's some aggression. Brace is playing for the information on the sound cues, looking at that floor. So he's already got info that there's something happening around this A ramp at the moment. The progression smoke to come out from LFO. As Vertex's standard A ramp smoke is there as well. Malta copying a lot of damage from the HE grenade is probably not what he intended to start off the round with. However, for LFO creeping up right now, there is a crossfire of sorts here for Vertex, and they get the opening pick. PZ with the AWP.
They do, but it's, yeah, just again, facing off against PZ. Always a scary prospect to be dealing with. Apoc gets taken down very, very low. Smoke is available, but Apoc Dud will find the fight again. Being the superior POC, he has been doing that many, many times, and unfortunately does get felled by Sterling. A very nice trade there. PZ does look to reposition, but Linky finds the fight, finds the shot. Sterling also available. And now Ruffleco in again, another 1 versus 3 scenario. Smoke will go down if he can find one. it may be a possible win condition, but as all that utility goes up, he's looking too many different directions, and Sterling with 3 will be able to put them on top. So LFO live to fight another day, and they don't have to be dealing with overtime point just yet.
Yeah,
Sterling obviously with that big green back.
A little lifeline thrown their way at the moment, but they're still trying to paddle towards the raft at the moment. Vertex still a commanding lead in this one, and I mean, for this round right now, Vertex are not going to be with rifle in hand, so it is going to be potentially just that 8th for LFO. You would expect them to do it cleanly, but again, you know, this is a mountain that they need to start to climb. If they're dropping any sort of weaponry towards Vertex in a round such as this, it just gives more confidence over towards Vertex and maybe a little bit more shattering towards LFO. But Savage, a 1-to-1 in that scenario. Yeah, you'd be happy with that. Okay, Rufflecoat is also finding APOC. What is... Hey Mitch,
yeah.
Hey Mitch, I don't want to jinx it, but is this the round that it happens?
It's just damage regardless, right? You know, already taking away 2 of these rifles is absolutely disgusting. Now Brace has to fall away. There should be some level of rotation around, and they actually do tuck their way into the side hall. Another member at elevator. So they've still got time to work this off. A minute left on the clock. Boost. Great time for it as well. Completely silent. Completely finds the audio. Hazza, wrong way, my friend, as APOC does take him now. It's a 4 versus 2 here, Dion. This is such a fantastic round from Vertex. Just the buddy system playing into each other's strength here. Now Licky trying to find this fight. Brace already on the line. Should be able to find it. Goes for the jump clear. Now APOC dart rips off the head, and it's all on to Sterling. He's got 40 seconds. There's no Kevlar though, Dion.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no trade potential for Brace, but with APOC just absolutely making me eat my words, this round is looking like it's gonna be a Vertex round on the back of a few cheeky pistols, unless Sterling comes out. You don't want an AWP in this scenario. You miss a shot, you hit a shot, the other 2 are gonna swing on you. He's been seen. There's the miss, and here is the death. Rufflecoat with 3. That is an eco victory for Vertex, and it puts them on map point.
How good is the patience, though, there from the side of Vertex? All 3 members in just such strong chokeholds. They know there's no time for the rotate. They know he's got the AWP and has to try and find those individual one-on-one-on-ones, and it just does not happen. And there we go, finally. 15. Feels like Vertex have absolutely earned this right now, and they've actually called for another timeout as well.
Yep.
You know, is this just sort of rubbing salt in the wound right now? Is this wanting to let LFO know where they stand? 15-7 is such a huge score line. You know, you even sort of think it's like, okay, yes, Vertex has a chance of pulling ahead this map, but not in this fashion in any way, shape, or form. LFO are a dominant force, and Vertex is making them look like a tier 2 team right now.
It makes me wonder what Ancient is going to look like regardless if we have OT come here from LFO or not, right? Because we haven't seen it from Vertex. We know we've seen it a little bit to come out from LFO, and that was really only, you know, in the international kind of, in the international stage, right? So it's going to be really interesting to me. You know, NIP, Entropic, alternate attacks, all losses, but international teams. So LFO's Vertigo, Ancient hasn't even looked too crash hot, but regardless, in toward this round. An early how do you do? Malta's found Licky on the other side of the map from where that first initial damage was.
Yeah, Vertex only disadvantage right now is just that time that they need. You know, they find a spot at Dallas. Potentially there's a boot camp in store for them. Getting that experience against some of the NA best. But, you know, another mixed international event, right? You know, so many opportunities for teams to support in. Another IEM. But irrespective, you know, order, they're already there, parked in their seat, just waiting. And that's what I mean, you know, Vertex, if they actually manage to take LFO, that's like almost a more challenging scalp to find. But yeah, regardless, you know, order looking very, very strong. So cannot wait to see, regardless of who ends up in that grand final, is going to be a tough battle for both teams. And now with audio given, they know there are some members down towards this round, 50 seconds left, and LFO is still at that man disadvantage.
Yeah, how do you get back into this round as well? 3 smokes, you can try and get up a wall around this A site here, but you've got a little bit of that denial ability. PZ still has an incendiary. You've got numbers around this site as well from Vertex. There actually is those flames thrown over to the side hole. More time ticking off, 30 seconds. This is going to be a scrappy finish. Brace has just spammed Savage through the wall, and now it's 3 remaining LFO members to get in toward this site.
The last dance, and I'm not talking about the team right now. Sterling looking to find one, but it's a fantastic trade there from Hazza. Brace does find him, but on this plant, on this time, they're actually going to let them have it right now. APOC does a couple of warning shots, but As these two members reposition, it is going to be scary, knowing that Rufflecoat is coming in on that flank behind, but we'll take some time, let them settle.
This is a tell, though. This is something that we've seen from Rufflecoat on this map specifically. In a couple of times, he gets out that flank, but how much time do LFO spend just looking over the bomb? Maybe it's a little bit too much. PZ takes out APOC, and now it's all on to Hazza for the 1v3. They're isolated. Jules right now. Turn around, my good sir. He's heard the footsteps. He's seen the bullets. Rufflecoat is encroaching around at a tap. It's a stick, and the feet aren't going to be spotted. Hazza spraying the wrong way. The nut, and it's a ninja defuse in the 1 versus 1. We're coming to our cameras. How has it ended like that?
Well, I want to just say Rufflecoat has dropped the lol in chat afterwards, and I think he's absolutely earned that. Hazard looking phenomenal, so sharp, but then he questions himself. He was the man.